Hi, welcome to RSL Rooster's new YouTube channel. This is the first video on the channel, and today we're going to be going over RSL's most recent loss to Vancouver and Sandy. The reason that I'm starting this channel is because I think there is a little bit of a vacuum as far as RSL content goes, where it's like we've got really great podcasts and we got really good coverage on Twitter and the radio, but like as far as YouTube content goes, there is YouTube content, but like I think normally it's more like related to like um like interviews. We have lots of interviews and stuff like that on there, but I don't see many people talking about Real Salt Lake on YouTube that much. So thought there's a bit of a vacuum, wanted to fill it as much as I can. Uh, Sort of what I think could be happening on this channel is maybe weekly, bi-weekly, 10 to 20 minute videos, sort of going over maybe news. And as always, RSL Rooster, make sure to check us out at rslrooster.com. Has lots of should be your main source as far as like player salary tracking, length of contracts, uh, designated player status, U22 status, um, those types of things. You should check us out there, as well as on Twitter at RSL Rooster. Cool. So to recap the game, started off new change as far as the formation goes. Normally playing like a 4-2-3-1. This game we started off with, I mean, we really did need to change. We haven't been scoring goals at all. And we started off this game in a more of a 4-4-2, maybe a 4-4-1-1, with Cabral in goal, Katranis left back, Vera, Glad, and Caliscan. Caliscan recently earned permanent residence. I'm not sure exactly by which method, but he doesn't occupy an international spot anymore. So that's great for him. Good for roster construction. And he's been pretty good at right back, obviously, with the one mistake he did make today leading to a goal. And then at the six, we still had Anelli and Ruiz. And then we had two wider midfielders, uh, Markzuk and then Diego Luna. Diego Luna did come central, uh, maybe a little bit more than a left mid would, but nominally I'm still going to say he's a left-sided midfielder. Then there are two strikers, Willie Agata and Xavier Gozo. Willie Agata was definitely the higher of the two, so maybe you could call it a 4-4-1-1, something like that. Um, and then I also prepared some clips to go through as far as sort of like just sort of to refresh everyone before we get into sort of like how I rated everybody in the comments. So I'll get started on those. I think this is the right one. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, so the first clip, looking at the Diego Luna goal. Good, planted around in the final third. Good chance, good finish by Diego Luna. He's our GOAT. I love him. Finished Andor pretty recently too. Diego Luna is also a really good actor. Second clip coming up. Good pass by Diego Luna for his assist for Xavier Gozo's first goal. Good finish, but obviously Takaoka he didn't cover his near post at all. Next clip. What is this one about? Oh yeah, good cross in. Unlucky. Good corner. Gozo probably could have done better there. Still did good to get something on goal. Now, I think the frustrating thing here is pay attention to how many people we have in the box. Right now there's four. There's four people in the box against their five. Realistically, you put the ball in the box, there's a 50-50 chance they're winning something here. Now look, there are six people in the box. Ball should have gone into the box right there. He passes it back. Mark Zook should have passed it in there. That's a horrible pass by Brian Vera. Very wasteful. This is a good pass by Brian Vera in the same spot. And then an even better turn by Diego Luna with the hazard step to win the foul. Here's the goal. We got a few clips of this one because I think it's good to see Caliscan sort of getting dunked on here. He never really gets up, and that's not because he doesn't want to jump. He's just not in a good spot to contest for the ball. Brian White completely bodied him off of here, and probably just a mismatch. But definitely bad for Caliscan. Here's a big wasteful touch by Willie Agata. Good pass in from Diego Luna. Agata does some hold-up play. Moved outside by Anelli. Brought in Gozo. Good diving shot. and then Agata with a horrible miss. I think both of those were offsides. Great save by Cabral here. And this is the second absolutely, like, just why would you do that? Pass by Brian Vera. That both of those could have been goals. And here's two clips from Willie Agata. That's a horrible challenge, could have been a yellow. And here's another horrible challenge, was a yellow. Those both could have been yellows within like 2 minutes. He could have been sent off. Here's a throw in, crazy flick by Markzuk, and a good chance by Gozo from a very tight angle. And then this is just some midfielder love for those two guys. They're doing a really good job. And Ellie wins the ball. And then it comes to Pablo with a crazy first touch pass. Incredible. Markzuk could have done better here. Here's Gozo creating a challenge off the, winning the ball off the press. Really good to get in. Unlucky. It could have fallen to anybody. And then, you know, we could discuss that being a foul, but turn the ball over in the midfield. Cabral makes a crazy save. Should have been a goal. Could have been a penalty kick. And then another crazy save by Cabral. Here's sort of one of the problems with being attacking. Here we have a really good counter. Gozo wins it. Markzuk plays a nice ball through. Peel runs up. And loses it. Now look, there's 4 people up, and the defense and the midfielders didn't roll back. And 30 seconds later, we get scored on, and that's what loses us the game. So, just wanted to get a little bit of a refresher in as far as what happened last night before we get into the player ratings. So, here is rslrooster.com. If you haven't done this before, please feel free to come in and after games submit how you feel like people did. So, for this game, I'm going to go through. I think Cabral did pretty good today. On a scale of 1 to 10, I always like to have 6 being the average. You know, if everybody did nothing, we tie 0-0, I'm giving everybody a 6. So I think Cabral made 3 really good saves. I don't think he was really at fault for any of the 3 goals. So I'm giving him an 8. Catranis did some good things. I think the 3rd goal was on his side. I'm going to give him a 6. Vera was okay. Obviously had 2 really bad passes. I don't think was at fault for any of the goals. Giving him a 5. Glad was okay. Caliscan was okay, but got dunked on for the 1st goal. Rees was fine. Anelli was fine. I do think that playing with the 4-4-2 with 4 attacking players really asks a lot from these midfielders. You know, like normally when we're playing, like if you play a 4-3-3, you've got 3 people that are running the midfield. Sort of with this formation that we're playing with, when we're attacking, it's sort of like a 4-2-4. Or sometimes even like a 2-2-6 if the fullbacks are up. So, and we really saw that on the 3rd goal. When we push 4 guys forward, you're sort of just begging Pablo Ruiz and Emeka Anelli to save the game. And they did a good job this game, but probably not good enough. But I'm still giving him a 6 because I did see some positives. Gozo, he's an 18-year-old, got a goal, and was probably, and I'm serious, he was probably our most goal dangerous player today. So very impressive, giving him an 8. Diego Luna with a goal and assist, got to give him an 8. Markzuk was fine. He probably deserves about a 6.5 because he did have some bright moments, but I'm still giving a 6. I think Willie Agata is my non-player of the match. Stinker, 4. Pablo, I'm going to say it was a decent game. I mean, I like the lineup. I like how he tinkered. We had a good start, and then very blah in the middle and end, and pretty bad at the end. So I think a 6 is fair, but just because he changed something and it went well, I'm going to give him a 7. Ojeda was fine. Hidalgo, I'm not going to give him a 7, but he did some good things when he came on. Pure did some good things when he came on, but obviously it led to the goal. Can't give him a 7. Quinton was fine. And then I think Junko was pretty wasteful when he went in the final third. Like, if you come on as a sub, you need to do, you can't really make the mistakes. And he was pretty wasteful on the left-hand side. I remember one time he got in the final third, and like there were 4 guys in the box, and he like scuffed it. Like a golf shot where you just like completely missed the ball. It was crazy. Not the best night for him on the off the bench. So I'm gonna press submit here, and just when you're submitting, if you ever submit something on the website, once you press submit, it's gonna load up this blank page. This blank page is gonna do all the calculations to find out what the average score was, and it's gonna return it on this second page here. So it looks like everybody else that submitted thought that Cabral got a 7.33, Katronis with a 6.67, Vera with a 5. Glad and Caliscan mid games, Ruiz with a little bit better than average, and Ellie. But it looks like our man of the match is a 3-way tie between Gozo, Luna, and Cabral with the people that have submitted. I think today we got like 6 submissions. So in the future, make sure you feel free to go and submit these. Right now I'm doing it about 12 hours after the game. Maybe there will be some more. If you submit, you'll be able to see the updated. So every time you press submit, it'll update. Yeah. So as far as this game goes, I did like that some things were changed, and I do think we saw some benefits. But just when you look at like who was our worst player, which is Willie Agata today, to me, it just really reiterates. I don't really want to talk too bad about like people failing at the club, but I really think it's time to start talking about Kurt, man. Like, I saw him he was on the radio, and he had an interview this week, and he got asked a question, really good question, where he's like, "Hey, man, we thought that there were going to be some additional signings during the primary window, and we didn't get. I mean, we got Willie Agata, who was a bench player for SKC, and then Johnny Russell, who was a free agent. Like, this is not the reinforcements for a team in 12th to make them jump to 7th and make the playoffs. You know, can we expect something coming up soon? Great question. And what did we receive as an answer? He said, I mean, like, yeah, I wish I could tell you, and like on the short term, like, yeah, we're going to work for something that's going to be on the first day, and then he's going to start the next 11 games, we're going to make the playoffs. You know, which I guess is a valid thing. Like, I wish I could tell you that, but we're not. We're going to take the time and find the right guy. He's been saying that forever, okay? And on like December 16th, we all knew that Chicho Arango was leaving and that Anderson Julio was already gone. It has been 6 months, over 6 months since then. And he has been able to sign players for 5 of those months. And he has completely failed. He has signed 4 new strikers. All of them have failed. Forster Iago was the first one. He played 3 games and then got loaned. He was literally that bad. Elias Manuel, he also got signed early. He was so misunderstood that like he didn't even show up to the state. Like, he didn't even show up. So I don't understand how you can say like, oh no, we're gonna be really patient. We're gonna make the right signings, and then you sign 4 guys and none of them work, and all of them are panic buy, or not all of them are panic buys. But like, how are you saying that you're taking the due diligence to find a good striker if Elias Manuel doesn't even want to come? Willie Agata is so bad, and everyone knew this. From his first appearance, everyone knew he sucked. Arieth Peel, he's got potential. He's scored a goal. Good for him. He's been okay with some bright spots, but like he hasn't been good. And then you panic buy Willie Agata because you refuse to pay the $300,000 to finish the Bosnick deal. So then you panic buy and spend what, $500,000 to get Agata, who does not work. Like if Bosnick is your guy, and you're like, oh man, they want us to raise the price. They want to raise the price $300,000 on the last day. Well, we're not going to do that. You know what we're going to do instead? Now we're going to spend $500,000 to bring in someone who's going to suck, and then he sucks. You know, and then Johnny Russell you bring in the last second. These are panic buys. These are like, oh my God, oh no 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 no, we couldn't get Bosnick. What are we going to do? We're gonna come in last. And now look at what's happening. We're gonna come in last. So I get what he's saying, where it's like, oh yeah, we want to make sure that we're making the right long-term call, but he's not. He's doing neither. He is not making the right term. He's not making the right long-term call, and he's not making a short-term call that's like a patchwork job. Like if you were to go out and buy like, I'm trying to think of an example, but like some 30-year-old who's for $4 million, who might not be the right fit, but he's going to score 10 goals this year. He's doing neither. He's not getting something in the short term, and he's not getting something long term. He's just failing at the striker position, and it sucks. And unless things change drastically very soon, we're not going to make the playoffs. So, and he's got to realize that when he didn't want to sign Robert Bosnick for an extra $300,000 or something like that, he realizes like, well, I'm probably gonna lose my job now. Like if we don't make the playoffs and it's because we didn't sign a striker, I couldn't get a striker over the line. I mean, it's on him. I feel like everyone knows that. Like, we aren't scoring goals. We knew we needed to sign a striker. We didn't sign a striker, so then we panic buyed a bad one. But what I will also say is that, like, when I do give criticism, I do want to say some good things. Rafael Cabral has been a really good signing. I didn't think he was going to be this good. He's been incredible. So, good with some bad. That's the first video. As always, make sure you, as I reiterated earlier, make sure you follow RSL Rooster on Twitter and check out the website. Try to get as many updates as I can on there, making new changes. Thank you.